Yo, you wanna know what's worse than working under the sun around 90 degrees? Not having games to play anymore. I hated it. All the news talk about it. And PlayStation's just following Xbox at this point, which is disgusting. Almost as bad as Nintendo, but Nintendo is more malicious because they give you codes instead of this. Ain't that fair? We'll see what you gotta say about that.
Ago, PlayStation were heroes. Their leadership took the stage and they rejected the future of gaming that Microsoft was pushing with their Xbox One. It was a famously failed pitch. It all involved an always online console, one that actually meant the second-hand market was dead, one that would lead to a future with all digital games. It didn't go
Mm-hmm.
well for Microsoft. Audiences cheered for Sony. They put out great meme videos about sharing games for the PS4. It was a rebuke of everything that people wouldn't stand for, as shown by the Xbox One. And it changed the industry around them.
I don't remember whether or not that one CEO guy, name was Yoshida or something like that, one of the bosses of Sony, was there around that time. It potentially things could have changed when it comes to management, and they changed the tune automatically, just like that. Sometimes when you see these big moves, these companies making, you gotta look who's benefit more from this. Who's making these calls? God, I'll guarantee you, for every business, numbers matter. The numbers determines where things gonna go, no matter what people say, no matter what you do. Money is so easy to just look at and say, yo, we could change our values, our core policies for the sake of like getting more money. And if there's a way to get more money by doing less, they're gonna do it. So live server games is like the big money here. Unfortunately, majority of PlayStation games nowadays are just not part of that framework. Do you see Sly Cooper doing live service? Ratchet and Clank. I think Ratchet and Clank has potential to be live service, easy. But I don't think people are gonna think of, like willing to buy that game for that. Even though they could do that. Be their own Fortnite. But I don't think anyone if Sony had that big bust of a big brain to think something like that. No, not even Jack and Daxter. Even though it could, if they look at a live service Jack and Daxter game, would I play that? Possibly, possibly. If you do it right, like, all these middle games, these death battles, capture the flag, stuff like that, that could be done. But it got to add a lot of creativity. And whoever created Jack and Daxter lost a long time ago, so it's not happening. Period. Period. Sony have so many IPs that they're not using it because no one's thinking about it. Like to the max potential. Because one, brand recognition is important. Since God of War is brand, known, well known, IP, you can use it to the max. And leave all their other IP to dust. Why? Because I'm not gonna say they're idiots. I think they're just moving things at a narrow-minded position.
13 years later, PlayStation are doing things a little differently. They just pulled more than 500 licensed movies from people's accounts, and as of today,
How is not a grounds for suing? They will say Sony will say stuff like, "Hey, you bought this. This is digital. You just simply renting the movies. If we take it away, you rented it for a time." And you wonder why people have CDs and preserve those CDs forever. The problem with CDs is that they can just decay and not work. Hence why there's other sources of way to like take the data, put it on your computer, enjoy it for yourself. As long as you enjoy it for yourself, use for personal use, there should be no issues. Because the government have issue when you like repurpose it and sell on your own. That's a no no. That's a no no. That's not yours. But you have it for yourself. Who cares?
they've just killed physical games. We are in a very different industry. We're in a very different world. And within the next 2 years, the production of PlayStation discs will stop entirely. Within less than 2 years of today, there will be no new physical games for PlayStation. That means January 2028, and when I say no new PlayStation games coming out on a disc, it covers first-party games, of course, but also third-party. That means that everything will go digital only from that point on, through, of course, PlayStation's own store. There seems to be a concession for retailers to still hand out digital formats, which probably just means more codes and boxes, like we're getting with GTA 6. Now, here's how PlayStation frames it. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs. This transition will
Physical disc is very important. It's really the fact that you don't own your stuff, bro. And the company expects you to be happy. I disagree with that. And those who agree are just truly the perfect example of NPCs. Normies, casuals, all of that. And you understand why people gatekeep their hobbies, bro. This stuff like that. For those who's just like consumerist mindsets, like accept everything that come to their face every single time, because they have no standards. They don't just don't. They only judge it based on is it fun or not. And as simple as it gets. And there's nothing. There is something wrong with that. If you can't differentiate something that's fun on a mechanical level versus something that's fun as what's seen in front of you. The pretty pictures, pretty graphics can only take you so long. The remakes for Final Fantasy are very pretty, very eye catching, peak eye candy. Mechanics here and there, you can argue that it's alright, you know. Some might not want to get it at all because it's not turn based. Yeah, well, it is. Some just enjoy it because hey, nothing wrong with it because you play Final Fantasy 15. That's probably the biggest why people consider it's okay because people like enjoy Final Fantasy 15, which I did myself. I could say one of the only Final Fantasy games I ever completed. Period. The first one, it was 15. So games and I have fun with that, bro. You don't have big flaws, story wise, some mechanic wise as well. It can be very repetitive. Graphics glitches. Jeez. I summon a monster and I gotta spit it out from that location. And oh my god, it's on PS4, mind you. It was a mess. The whole development hell of 15 was a mess. I don't hate the game, bro. I'm just so I have nothing but pity for 15. 16, on the other hand, I still want to play it on my own time, but that gotta come like sometime this month, guaranteed. Crazy done. Keep on watching
enable
this.
us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. They're not wrong. In 2025's numbers, PlayStation are selling digital over physical by more than 4 to 1. Look wider, and Circana has flagged that US spending on physical games is at its lowest point since 1995. It's had a decline of 11% a year. Now, the logic behind this is, of course, following those numbers, and it's also what we call mercenary. PlayStation leadership wants to cut costs and stop selling new hardware at, quote, a significant loss. This move, in theory, pretty much just benefits them, right? How many games even ship on disc as basically glorified license checks for something that's already been altered or requires patches as soon as you pop the disc in? So why not cut out the middleman? Production costs.
Yeah, if you have people, teams of people willing to do patches, ready to go put in more content later on in the game, what is the point of having a disc? That's true. That's true. That's the future. It's not going away anytime soon. That's the unfortunate part that people gotta realize. Your favorite games are gonna be lost forever. Then again, there are different sources of like places you can go, but people just, in a moral standpoint, think it's just wrong. Let's say you want to be Archimedes, you know what I'm saying? Arg, catch the booty in the freaking treasure chest, open the loot. You know what I'm saying? They have an issue with that, and the problem is there's not many um consequences for the individual who do these things on a personal level if it has something to do with repurpose it as a sale, more so just doing it on your own time and your own thing. And plus, even if the big three-letter words of two different agencies want to intervene, they don't care for that. They really don't care. That's like the bottom list of like all the priorities down here. It's right here. It's right here. Like chances of someone who's doing pirating is right here. Up here, all the world. issues rolling to one at the very top. They don't care for little some random guy downloading a file from an old ass game for like 20 years ago and want to play on his own time. Like common sense wise, leave the dude alone. He ain't hurting you. You're not making money from that anymore. Hence why a site like Abandonware is a thing. Any game you want to play is literally up there. But I think the only issue I have with that is that if GOG says, hey, let me get this game put on our site, that game will be a rule for Abandonware. You gotta go to a GOG and play it. And as much as I love GOG, yeah, people gonna have a problem with that, bro. Because GOG can officially resell on the price on their thing as a retro thing. No, perfectly preserved. Things updated to CDRM type thing, DRM free type of thing. But people gonna have issue with that. Me, not so much unless it's like really apparent. We just gotta do some research on that later. But I gotta talk about this more, bro. This is crazy.
And what audiences want have both shifted over the last 10 years, but PlayStation are likely looking ahead with this change. You see, in starting this in January 2028, it probably means we won't see the PS6 until after that. Basically, PlayStation are laying down the groundwork for an all-digital console generation. My guess
Crazy.
here is probably you could get an external drive that would work for your PS4 or PS5 discs. You probably have some backward compatibility through your library, right? You know, something to toss out there for the prestige crowd, the people who care enough to actually buy the disc drive that PlayStation already sells for the PS5. But the next generation of consoles will almost certainly be digital by default. And when we think about the last 13 years, well, we're a long way from 2013's Play.
I guarantee you that the PS6 will just be digital off the gate. Could be a lot of issue with some people, and they'll have the drive be sold extra. If they really want the drive, it'll be sold extra. It'll be like a USB port. It'll look ugly. They have two USB ports instead of be just one. It's funny crap, bro. And I guarantee you the PS4, PS6 control will be different than the PS5. I guarantee you, bro. That the whole white futuristic slick design of the PS5 or the PS6 thing gonna be? Because how can you like innovate from that? We barely had time to. I say barely. 6 years is barely because consider the fact that I wanted to get myself a PS5, but the line to just get it, period, killed my interest eventually. That I had the money for it, but I had to like use that money for like personal stuff, personal needs, family stuff, whatever, blah blah blah, and it just killed my investment for it. Period. Nowadays, you can actually get yourself a PS5 after like a whole year of COVID stuff. Like, um, oh my gosh, dude. 2020 to 2023. Insane. You can barely get a PS5, bro. If you get lucky, that'd be great. That'd be perfect. The problem is the whole like distribution of it was horrible. The worst ever. Period. So the PS6, yeah, it's gonna be distributed in a normal fashion, but it could be thousands of dollars plus tax to get it. Plus games are going to possibly cost you hundreds of dollars. An economy on a free fall too. Boy, have your priorities straight. If they're fun games you can replay a lot, play those games. Talk about like not from the PS5 era, whatever the hell that means. Not much of an era anyway. PS4 have more weight when it comes to longevity, replayability with certain games that had on their consoles that was like back in 2014 than PS5 would ever have. Name one nostalgic game from the PS5 that you say this is the future of game right there. This is like the best in the generation. Go on, name me one. I'm waiting. Oh,
PlayStation used game instructional video that was PlayStation's answer to the Xbox One, floating the exact same idea we're talking about today. Of course, what ownership means is now very different in the minds of.
Data annotation is wonderful. You can work from your phone, your laptop, or desktop. It's actually
Yeah,
with
shut up.
most people. On PlayStation's own stores, your rights as a customer are actually about to get tested. Take as an example their
Ads, bro.
refund policy. It
Ads.
refuses you one the second you've downloaded or started streaming a game. That's pretty tight,
Mm-hmm.
and as say disability advocates have pointed out, no refundable copies does hit people with accessibility needs the hardest. Then there's the sheer principle of it. The simple fact
Yep.
is, you don't own your games, you own a license. Earlier this week, PlayStation pulled even more Studio Canal movies. These were movies that people had already bought
Mm.
through the store. Now, this hit Germany and
What
Austria
I
back
have in
in
September.
2022.
Ooh,
Now,
that's not good.
551 movies have been yanked from all libraries, all because of a licensing deal expiring. And it really is what it
Licenses.
sounds like. The movies will have been there one day, and the next day will quite simply have been gone. And
Imagine you want to see like a movie that came out last year, bro, and you bought it on the Sony site. Actually, I'm not gonna at this point. Use YouTube. There are free movie you can watch that was released like several years back or recently. You can watch it on YouTube for free. There gonna be ads in the midst of it. It will break your immersion. Don't get me wrong. It will break your immersion. It's better than this Sony. Cause you don't feel the need to buy the certain movie if you watch it for free on a platform like YouTube. So the alternative is there. Just use it. Just use it and save you the headache and time.
with that happening, it begs the question, how many of your games would you actually own on a digital PS5? And just in case the ticking clock of digital ownership wasn't loud enough for you, PlayStation announced something else today. The PS3 and PS Vita digital stores are being shut down worldwide. Of course, they tried this before in 2021, but player outcry managed to save them. Not for long, though. It was obviously only a stay of execution. Sony did provide reasoning, though, saying that this time it's down to updated payment processing standards across Sony's networks. These old stores will
And PS3 is old as Xbox, and Xbox did it way quicker, way more convenient because at that point, who cares about the Xbox 360? Considered like I want to say the small minority, but at this point, I guarantee is like as big, if not bigger, than people playing on the Xbox Series X today. The fan base as a whole, huge people still playing on Xbox 360 regardless. Because games in that era was so fun. Think about any games that came out the Xbox 360 era. I can only think of Gears of War, Dragon's Dogma, what else? And anything, Halo even. Sheesh, bro. Reach, ODST, bro. Reach especially. Oh my gosh. Think of anything like that came out of that era. Amazing stuff, bro. And not getting stuff from it is crazy. Shame for me. Um, it's horrible that I had to like just think about like my time with the PS3 and just think that damn dude, this everything will come to an end. And I knew it was gonna come to an end because I put a video about that. I talked about that 2 years ago, like how it was gonna end. I think I said like oh it could be a decade or so. I didn't know it'd be like 2 years later type of thing. So I kind of jinxed it. But it's worse because one to think I can tell you right now, one I don't have a PS Vita, so I don't know how the quality of the online store is in PS Vita strictly because it's strictly just on the store basis on the game is the console itself. So I look into that. I probably gonna make myself a Vita just in case, see what's what. And it's supposed to be by next year, the same month. And my birthday's at. Oh no! They're gonna close it down. And I understand, like, in a businessman perspective, is it really worth it to like keep that old ass, cracked store up for long? I'm telling you right now, it hurts to see the PS3 store look the way it is because Sony don't care about keeping their maintenance up or its existence is gonna be up there. They don't care for that, so they're like bring it to the freaking backyard and it's put out of misery, bro. That's what they're doing. Like wait a whole year just for people to get the stuff, get whatever you need. And also, before I continue this, what is this stuff going on that you can just get good popular games if you like have your account to be set in Japan? You have the best games over there in Japan. Got a lot of games that were dislisted from the PS3 store, like Metal Gear Solid 4, and I don't know if they have it in the in the Japanese region. If they do, that's good for them. That's crazy.
start going dark in August 2026, with Mexico, Honduras, and Nicaragua starting it off, and the rest.
Oh Lord, I'm mercy. Okay, okay. This is something I also didn't consider. By next month, Mexico and any other places. I want. Is this South America or Middle America, South America? Whatever reason though, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, it's terrible, bro. They can start off stuff over there. I don't know why. That's pretty cheap. Not cheap. Not the word cheap, but there in particular, Latin America. Yeah, the South America getting clapped, bro. Middle Eastern places too, because they don't get that much money over there. I guess, assumingly so, based on them territories. Not like the first world countries like that. No. So the store will close, but we can still retain our games though. DLCs,
The world
another
following by
story.
July 2027. No more purchases will be possible, though in a concession, PlayStation did say you'll still be able to download what you bought for, quote, the foreseeable future, which isn't exactly a concrete promise on timelines, is it? So
What is
basically, that story is a reminder. All of this digital only talk.
the foreseeable future, bro? I don't like that. It give you a alley that hey, you can still have it, but you might have it for yourself. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Let's say you wanna like buy Dragon Guard 3. I know that game is like ugh, but there's probably some good stuff to his jank that people realize. And you don't have other stores selling that game. You know what I'm saying? Only PS3. So if that gone, you lose yourself to actually legally purchase it yourself. Beside the other games, they're near replicant. Sure thing. Blah blah blah. Oh shoot. Actually, you're fine if you have near replicant in the Automata. You're fine. Dragon Guard 3, not so much, unfortunately. Damn Square.
Sits atop a system where you've barely got any ownership rights at all. A system where a company like Sony does exactly what the law forces them to and nothing more. And what that ultimately means is that even though it is the case that technically, be it physical or digital, all you've ever owned is a license, the actual experience of only owning a license does
Yeah,
end up
damn.
feeling materially different, whether it's physical or whether it's digital. And I think that story makes it abundantly clear. Of course, this is not only something.
Apparently, you can go from zero to a complete site in just
Yes,
a
more
single
ads.
prompt with
Thank you,
Wix
YouTube.
Harmony. I don't
And
know
I
if this is
get
going to be
premium
possible.
download too. I
For
really don't
Sony,
want to.
this is going to hit the entire industry. The ramifications of today's story don't just stop at your own game library. Ending physical production sends knock-on effects right through the market. As an example, take that line about retailers handing out, quote, digital formats. That's likely a bone for publishers who still need to hit mass markets with the likes of, say, Amazon. And I say that because back in
Amazon
2019, PlayStation stopped
and especially eBay. eBay could be way more important than ever before. I'm doing a lot of biddings on eBay to like get a particular game for like a low price. Going up and up and up until like yo, I got the game itself. Boom, boom, boom. Tell myself I'm not gonna get anything over $30. The max is 40, but old cool games that people don't get to have the chance to have themselves. You know what I'm saying? And most importantly, GameStop is suffering for that. Like last week, I went to my old neighborhood, childhood area where I go get games. GameStop was there for a long time, right next to McDonald's and Burger King. Burger King got annihilated, bro. It's no longer there. Same thing for GameStop, bro. It's gone. It's gone, dude. And I think GameStop is shutting down a lot of areas too, especially in Brooklyn. Cause downtown they don't have two GameStops no more. Apparently they got shut down over time. I haven't been keeping peep on it. The whole time I was hoping to get myself like a PS5 with them. Never happened. Never came, bro. I was like, yo, like these practices GameStop be doing, that's not good for the freaking companies. Reflecting badly on them. And with this whole retro era crap, bro, it just like looking at the I don't know what you call that thing, but they were trying to survive, bro, and they dying off slowly. It what it is. Either you get yourself a phone pop or just some clothes. Stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid.
retailers
Stop
from
stupid.
selling codes directly. Now, that move is actually in front of a UK judge right now, and it's part of a bigger class action over PlayStation's monopoly on digital sales
Damn.
and the money that real competition, had it have existed, would have saved
all
UK
old.
players. Now, this same fight has already sparked one settlement in California. Killing physical games entirely only makes the likes of that case more urgent, and that's because opening up digital sales would rip real control away from PlayStation. Otherwise, cheaper games are stuck at whatever prices PlayStation decide on. Now, longer term, it wreaks havoc on the niche preservation scene.
Dynamic prices. Whoever thought about that crap is the greediest person alive. Period. Because you could be in the same house as someone else who also has a PlayStation account. And get this, if I already bought it, that person will have like a potentially different price or not, cheaper or not. It really depends. It's never been like clothes. The clothes, whether or not it's just based on the longevity of your account or not. They'll Sony, PlayStation will decide whether price you get it for that game or not, which is so bizarre. It's so bizarre. And it's bad for business. I think it's bad for business, but
That's been growing
they're
around
probably
companies
known
like,
better than me. I
say,
don't know.
Limited Run Games or Lost in Cult. And even worse, it goes beyond games. As an example, take the Blu-ray market. Now, PlayStations definitely haven't been the cheapest way to play discs lately, but for the longest time, people did default to buying consoles that had a Blu-ray player in them. And big picture, that meant hundreds of millions of devices in people's homes that could play Blu-ray discs. And that's important because, you see, if you purchase a movie on a big streamer, you're getting a lower bitrate, a vastly lower bitrate, in fact. If you really want to enjoy your movies, yeah, you should actually buy the physical Blu-ray. The physical Blu-ray market does kind of lean on hundreds of millions of consoles across a few different generations and all of that stuff existing in people's homes. So, whenever that default changes, as it already is changing now, yeah, it's going to be a headwind for that industry. And personally, I fear that one day, probably soon enough, I just won't be able to get movies at proper quality, and it'll just be streamers. Okay, where are we at with this story? This is the new
not
frontier
streamers.
for who owns what within gaming, and these decisions are going
I
to...
disagree with the streamers, bro. Not all streamers are created equally or perform equally, or the quality that's the same, bro. Unfortunately, you could be an idiot, a clown, a doofus, and just get $1 million because the kids have no standards. They don't have no standards. They're like, what, 5 and up. Until like, what, 13? But even then, I doubt they have any standards at that time. These new age kids, bro, oof, oh my god, they don't know the word standards are. They just don't know.
to echo. Now, the good news is Nintendo will likely stick with physical for a while yet, and it's genuinely shocking that Xbox haven't fully given up on physical already. We should also point out the timing of this is rather hilarious. With all of the price hikes going on, Xbox actually decided to discontinue the 2TB model of their Series X. That's pretty rough, because it doesn't take many modern games to completely fill a console. Obviously, in a world where discs are there, that can be less of an issue. Though to be clear with you, it won't be long until Microsoft drops discs as well. Windows Central reckon that their next console, currently called Project Helix, is dropping the disc drive as well. And while The Verge says it's not locked in yet, PlayStation got there first, and they've done it officially. And in the world of PR, following the market leader is pretty easy to do. But it's also the case that the numbers bear out PlayStation's logic. This is a cold commercial call. Tradition, emotion, principle, what gaming actually means to people, none of that stuff enters into this. And that's because back in 2013, PlayStation needed to win audiences over, and to do that, they decided to tell them what gaming stood for.
Oh,
that
for
it
this
meant
whole
ownership,
time,
that it
you
meant
wondering
control,
what,
that
why
in the
I'm
face
just
of
blowing
Dom
sound
Matrix,
with a fan,
Xbox
dude.
One,
It's
PlayStation...
really I'm hot. I'm sweating profusely. I don't care if you can barely hear me. I don't want to scream in the microphone, dude. It's too hot to even do all that. And I have a leather headphones on too, so it's like it's worse on me. But either you hear what I'm saying, let's put the volume up. My game is up on OBS, so people say you can't hear me this, can't hear me that. Oh, my game's up. I don't know what to tell you. So let's continue this and finish this off, bro. Because oh my gosh, I'm people be saying gaming is dead. I understand why. Good reasons.
There for real gamers. Of course, they needed to be seen to be listening to the people who mattered most to their business. But now, every trend says that those concerns don't matter to people as much anymore. And because the numbers make sense and the numbers point in that direction,
Numbers,
PlayStation
baby.
are acting accordingly. I think it's a decision that we can all see the sense of, but I think we're all keenly aware of the downsides, where even if we didn't always do physical for every game, we still benefited from knowing that physical was out there. The industry as a whole could benefit from people being able to share the odd game here or there. But the thing is that those positive externalities of physical discs, like sharing them and all of that, well, those positive externalities are spread out. They're diffused across the entire industry. They're not really benefits that just concentrate with PlayStation. And
Yeah, because without a certain particular internet access, you can play a game but get stopped the moment it says, "Hey, you need this insanely big space to actually play the game." What the hell are you talking about? No, 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 no. I mentioned this before. Nintendo, yeah, Nintendo was the biggest scumbag for this. They'll tell you to your face, you can play Mario Kart 8, whatever. Here's a code in the box. The case, I mean. The case have a code for you to download it. You just really get. Oh, no, I'm not saying that. No, forget it. Forget it. Forget it. Oh my gosh, Lou.
And they're
Piss me
the
off.
type of thing that I think we can all sort of agree is, oh, good. It's nice to feel like you can own a thing, but it's very hard to measure that. I'm just left wondering of what we've left behind. And even experiences that honestly I've had, people my age have had, but that many modern gamers quite simply haven't. Buying a big box PC game back in the
Oh,
day.
I'm not mad at him. I'm just mad at the gaming industry, bro. With all the alternative, for some business owners who trying to like be yo, come to us to get some games. You doing a shady job with it. Cause I really think that the guys up top really believe that their customers are just brain dead consumers. That no matter what they put out there, they can get it. Now, blame the casuals. Casuals, even though you like the biggest money cow, when it comes to like getting bread, getting money, the freaking gaming industry see you as a great blessing. So much so that they believe that they can give you low quality garbage and you just eat it up. Thank you, Sony, thank you, Nintendo, thank you, Microsoft. No, 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 no. Don't matter what the quality is, you consume it and love it. That's on y'all. So thank you so much, consumers. I'll see you as customers. Just freaking bots. Sorry about like I'm sorry, not sorry.
A car ride home, reading through the manual, getting excited for the game, learning about the lore of the game, all of those things, maybe having a steelbook of a game that you really liked. Those things are gone. And I think a part of this story, for so many people, is just feeling sad that we're leaving that behind. But hey, at this stage, part of our hobby is sort of watching it decline, like it's an oddly fascinating train crash. And if you want to
There's
see
nothing
the
fascinating
permutation of
about it.
that involves our good friends, the electronic artists, and their latest thing, advertisements.
Your EA gonna be EA no matter what. I hate these bastards. They scumbags. They but use their IPs and nothing more than a commodity. And when they just done with it, it just move on to the next one. Till they realize, oh man, we don't got that much IPs going off to make us money. Let's just dig this one IP up and just hope it sells. Stupid bastards. Treat them like a partner in a toxic controlling relationship. Let them go for your own good. Let them go for your own good, yeah. Finally movie with no refund. What a great way to kickstart the all digital enough. Yes, I know. If a PlayStation is gonna cost 1,000, wants to be entirely digital, why would I get one when I could just get a PC? That's what I'm saying. Get a PC. Not mine's though. Upgrade to something. Oh my gosh. Then the RAM's crap. Oh. If you guys had money saved up, yeah, get a PC, bro. Especially the RAMs. Upgrade your RAMs. Cause whatever game you're gonna play, they're gonna stutter and suffer. Cause majority of games nowadays is straight up around engine, and we're not stopping from there, bro. Honestly, I'll play a great game that's in the Unity engine than another game that's run on Unreal 5, bro. Unless I like Persona. Unless I like somewhat like Tekken 8 and like Street Fighter 6, realism don't have to be realism. I'm sorry, dude. This is a fantasy world. Two people just throw fireballs at each other, transform to another person, electricity, manipulation, mind control, gods, literally gods. Come on, come on. Realism, bite me. How about we adapt the law first? How about I own my digital copy, no strings attached? Fight this in court. That's something. That is something to be considered. Hence why stop killing games is the thing. As far as I know, they're still kicking ass, but I'm not sure how long they're gonna do this for. It's time to sell again. I love that. To the seven seas we go. Remember, folks, vote with your wallets always. But hit the problem: if the majority are just normies, gaming industry could either way. Play has limits. Damn right. Blu-ray DVDs and vinyl records are still being produced. There's zero excuse from Sony for pulling this crap. That's Sony because that's the Sony music stuff, not gaming. Who you consider? What do you hold value more, music or gaming? I guarantee you, music. Because music is very accessible. I think compared to gaming at the point. Blame Sony for that. It just odd choices all around. It's just stupid. $80 is way too much for even a long term rental. Long term rental because imagine if Miss Second Son came out today, and this is the price range, and he had the same longevity, and there's no replay value because there's no additional difficulty to unlock after that. It's just done. It's literally just done. And you want to play what First Light? It's just DLC that's set to be his own game. It's stupid. I think it's stupid that it's set to be his own game. It should easily be DLC. Like, damn, that's sad. Doing this 5 days after they deleted one person's user library, proving that there is no ownership of Sony is insane. And I hope this absolutely blows up in their face. No, ain't long, unfortunately. They'll probably do that, like, the full effect when they actually do that. There are literally regions without PSN as well, and at least one region that had one online purchase disabled. No said no change accounts region either. How is it supposed to work exactly? How is it supposed to work? I can't tell you the answer to that. I don't know how to work. Period. Keep talking about it, everyone. The news is dominating all of my TV social media. This news here. Keep raising the noise louder and louder and louder. That's how we win. That's how we force them back down. To back down, protect our physical media. I'm ending right there. But I have a dark prediction that they're not gonna listen. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna shut down PS3 and the PS Vita stores. They're gonna like discontinue disc for any game that came out for the PS4, 5 even, because for the PS6, whatever that could come in the future. And you go like it, be happy, gamers, consumers. Gosh, bro. Y'all be safe, be easy, be chill. This news pissed me off, bro. I'm not even optimistic about it, bro. But hey, there's all alternatives to get some stuff out there. Please do your diligence, do your research before you do these things. The government will not come after you. Don't listen to Muda. He's a big meow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be like him saying allegedly. No, no, no. But you're doing your own risk for the sake of fun. If you wanna have fun, by all means. But honestly, however you do it is up to you. You're your own person, obviously. Don't do what the naysayer said because, like, let's be real. When the last time someone got busted for playing their games on their own? For real. Comment down in the comments. I don't know. You ever heard about it before? I'm out of here.